Hi guys, my name is Buriana and today I'm making my very first YouTube video. I've noticed that there are a lot of amazing videos here with very perfect sketchbooks. And although I found the idea of a perfect sketchbook that is basically like a portfolio, I found that idea very exciting and lovely. I found out that this does not work for me at all. Like throughout the years, I've made many attempts to make every single page of a sketchbook perfect. Unfortunately, like I said, that didn't work out for me at all. So today I wanted to show you a sketchbook that is more imperfect. Actually, I'm going to show you two sketchbooks that are very much experimental and very much random. And throughout this video, you will notice that I made some cuts in the footage. And that is because I found out that this sketchbook has some personal writing that I just don't want to share with the internet. So before I start commenting on the sketchbook itself, I wanted to say a little bit about my philosophy, I guess, behind keeping a sketchbook. So to me, a sketchbook is an artist's playground. It is yours to explore every idea that you have randomly throughout the day. It's for you to experiment without the feeling that maybe you show it to the internet and you'll be judged, or to your teachers and you'll be judged, or on Instagram. The whole point for keeping a sketchbook to me is to make drawings that don't take me too much time, so I can collect my ideas, so I won't forget. And this is something I've kept basically doing since 2017 when I started this sketchbook, and although I think I tried to make it very perfect, at least in the beginning, I definitely gave up sort of halfway through, or maybe even earlier, and I just kept it for whatever I wanted, and I'm very happy with this one. It's a very sweet memory to me. When I look at it, it reminds me of the past, what I did. I sometimes even remember what I was doing when I made a particular drawing. Also, I want to mention that the reason why I'm doing this video is to maybe try to show a sketchbook that is made by a person who was self-taught, and also someone who was trying to explore every single idea that popped through their head. I hope that this video will help you sort of reduce your stress related to sketchbooks, and to tell you that your sketchbook doesn't really have to be perfect. You don't need to spend 5 hours on a sketchbook page if it doesn't come naturally to you. To me, it definitely doesn't come naturally. I know that if I want to spend 5-6 hours on a drawing, that definitely won't be a drawing in my sketchbook. The very first one that you're seeing right now is a sketchbook I made in 2017, and that is the year I got accepted in the academy. I don't know if you noticed, but in the beginning it had a little sticker with a number on it that says 9, so this is overall my 9th sketchbook since I started keeping sketchbooks. And I feel like this is the sketchbook that is sort of more presentable than the other ones. But I numbered them. I don't know why I did it. I started it in the beginning of 2017, and sometime in the summer I got accepted in the academy and the semester started. So you can say that this is basically my last sketchbook that represents my self-taught skills, because before I got in the academy I was essentially self-taught. I would visit a private lesson here and there, but I wasn't very consistent and they were kind of pricey and maybe not offering me the type of results that I wanted, and I found out that I learned more from the internet anyways. You could see here and there on the pages that I used them for studies from living models, which I did sometimes. Maybe I ran out of paper during a live session or something. Sometimes I would draw outside on a bench. Sometimes I would draw from internet some pictures. Sometimes I try to do things that really didn't work out. Maybe I even copied things here and there. To be honest, I don't remember. Some of these sketches are actually made during class when I was still in high school. So while we were having a lecture, I would be drawing in this tiny sketchbook. I basically draw like no one is looking. And our teachers don't really assign us sketchbooks. They don't give us sketchbook tasks or fill a sketchbook in a week, fill a sketchbook in a year. No, I do this for myself because this is how I come up with some of my ideas that I like. The second sketchbook that you're seeing here is a sketchbook that I started in the beginning of 2018. That is one semester done in academy. So I started using a moleskin, I'm not sure how they're pronounced, but I'm using the soft paper one, so it's more like a notebook. But I found out that it really fits my style, I guess. I started off the sketchbook with no idea in mind, no particular goal. This is just going to be my diary of thoughts and ideas. And of course, I started off with a large scribble. Then I continued with portraits with pen, just a regular black ballpoint pen. I experimented with shading and effects. Some of the portraits more maybe successful than others. Some of the pages have scribbles. Some look a little bit more completed. Some of them are actually sketches of assignments that I planned for the academy once we actually had tasks to do. So I would do plans of compositions and random sketches with paints. Sometimes I would draw the models that we have in academy. Very often I would make sketches of my environment or just other types of ideas and thoughts. I think I even wrote some poetry here and there. I'm very much feeling free to do what I want and not necessarily making something truly perfect, because that is not possible to me. I'm not a perfect artist, and that's just my creative process. Here and there on some pages, maybe you will notice that I basically glue some sticky notes with some writing on them, maybe some thoughts, maybe I was thinking about some particular sort of poetry, but I allowed myself to do that sort of after finishing the drawing and going over it with more thoughts and ideas. Sometimes I would do actual longer studies in my sketchbooks, but again, most of the time it was just my ideas for assignments, and I still do this till this very day in 2020. I just use my sketchbook as my diary, my mental repository of ideas. And even though the paper is not necessarily appropriate for watercolors or watered down ink, I still did it. Some of the pages miss writing. I just stick on the paper, the extra paper, and I didn't write anything because I just didn't feel like it. I simply moved on. I didn't feel like revisiting the sketchbook again to make it perfect for this video. Also, you'll see a lot of scribbles, just random scribbles. Maybe that's how I thought. Maybe I tried to erase something that I definitely didn't like. There are a lot of sketches of flowers and other flowery elements because this is one of my favorite things to draw. Flowers and different scribbles. It's one of my favorite things to draw really in my sketchbook is random scribbles and flowers and more flowers. That's my favorite thing, absolutely. This sketchbook from 2018 is actually one of my favorites because not only did I allow myself to be very experimental, but also some of the ideas that I had, basically thanks to this sketchbook, turned out to be, in my opinion, quite a success. For me personally at least, they were success in the way that they were very creative, in my opinion. For example, I had this idea of blue and white marble pottery. I'm not sure what they're called, but I really like the look of blue and red, and that basically happened very randomly while I was experimenting in my sketchbook. And at some point I decided that I could explore this idea with the blue and red for some of the assignments I have in the academy. I'll try to insert some drawings that I did outside of the sketchbook based on the ideas I had in this sketchbook to show you sort of how they progressed from just an idea in a sketchbook to something that took me maybe 5-6 hours or more, and I eventually turned into a series. But yeah, I'm very happy with this 2018 sketchbook as well, because I allowed myself to be very brave and experimental, and Moleskines, they're not cheap. They're on the pricey side of a sketchbook, so I definitely felt a lot of pressure to, not waste the sketchbook, not waste the paper. But I got over it, and this is probably the biggest success I had with this sketchbook, is to not be afraid of the material itself. And that is basically it for these two sketchbooks. I really hope that you like this video. If you've watched it to the very end, thank you so much. Although this is my very first video, I will try to make some more with some more recent sketchbooks that I have. And maybe I'll make more videos about art in the future. I hope I will. If you are interested, you can follow me on Instagram. I try to be very active there. And I hope to see your sketchbooks too. So let's keep in touch and see you next time.